right, YouTube, coming to you out of Detroit. Like, share, and subscribe the video as you come to the channel. Give you an update today on the three rappers that was found slain in Detroit, where they was really found in Highland Park. And for you people who not from Detroit or not from Michigan, Detroit and Highland Park border each other. And 6 Mile, where the bodies was found, is the border, but they was found on the Highland Park side. And as close as Highland Park is to Detroit, if you from Highland Park, you don't want to be, you're not from Detroit. That's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you they from Highland Park, even though it's only one street that separates Detroit from Highland Park. And one thing that Highland Parkers are serious about is being from Highland Park. That's polar bear country right there. Highland Park is polar bear country. If you're from the city, you know what I mean by that. We're gonna break down how these guys came to Detroit and they was booked for a show. First of all, they didn't have any music that was notable to be booked. So the whole booking was to lure them into the city. You know what I mean? They was booked at a lounge, and the lounge ended up being closed, and they came down from Lansing, and they was missing. They was missing for about a week. After they was missing for about a week in Detroit, everybody pretty much assumed what was going on with them. So in this update, I'm gonna tell you about the conversation that they was having with the guys out of Detroit before they came down. They was having a whole conversation with these guys before they came to Detroit. And they was talking, their gang talk, they was talking about the Bloods and, this, that, and other. But I'm not gonna hold you up. I'm gonna let you listen to this conversation and pay attention to the dialogue to see if something stands out to you.
What's the deal with y'all, man? What's good? Let's tap it in right quick.
This is the slang rapper talking to guys from Detroit.
Man, for real, I'm really trying to figure out, is with everybody not, we just not gonna say if niggas talk, man. If we talk, we just not talk about it. That's what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? But that shit feel like the way for some of these niggas be out here right in your face. And, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I just be seeing it, bro. I seen some stories, I'm like, man, we gonna keep playing like this, dog? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anybody take that shit personal, that shit what it is. You feel me? I don't be feeling like these be out here, like, I don't get it. Y'all niggas seeing them motherfucking stories, man. I know y'all be seeing these niggas, man.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that.
Pretending like, oh, that nigga standing up on this case, like, bro, that nigga, oh, we gonna keep that shit a secret? Like, what's going on? I be seeing that shit, I'm like, I can't fuck with it, man. We gonna just keep this shit a secret. The nigga I'm talking about, right? I ain't gonna lie to y'all niggas, man. Me and Dog ain't really had no issues like that. But the nigga I'm talking about specifically, man, I told him that in prison. You feel me? We was on the yard together, you know what I'm saying? I looked at him, and I put that nigga on the phone like, I ain't got your paperwork, but I know what I know. And that nigga try to put it on another nigga. You try to put it on another nigga, the nigga named Debo Money. Shit, there you go, right there. I'll talk.
Now, what he's doing in the conversation, he's telling the guys that he know about another guy snitching. He know about it from the yard. He know about it from downtown Detroit. It's, when he was going to court. But he's talking to these guys, and it's based on the fact that they all Bloods, I would assume, because he's a Blood. Look at his flag. And they talking about violating for the stuff he's saying. But yet, he still is coming from Lansing. He's coming into Detroit. At this point, he's being lured into the city. He's being lured into the city. Nobody has booked these guys for no show. Nobody knows them. Who's going to come to see them? Think about that.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, he ain't hollered back at me since I've been home. You feel me? I popped at him a couple times, but that nigga ain't hit me. And no bullshit, that nigga got one song on one of his mixtapes from back in the day. I ain't gonna lie, that bitch stole my song. I wrote that bitch in the county. We was in Ed County in Max. I wrote that song, and that nigga, he had re-rock my shit. He re-rocked my verse. And I got nothing but respect for that nigga though, cause you know that nigga was rapping his ass off. He really made me sit down and focus when I went to prison. But this nigga Debo, Eastside Debo, light skin, Damian Lane, Rah Bro, 2014. Me and
Now you see he's calling out names. Ironically, he's calling out names of these guys from the east side, but he's not even from Detroit. He's from Lansing. And he's talking about these guys on the east side and name dropping all before he's coming into the city. Now this is going to be crucial and it's going to be crazy because the police is going to track those phone records. And they're going to see at what point the phone was turned off and all points in between. And you can best believe they scouring that neighborhood over there on 6 Mile because for them to be found in the basement of that building, clearly that tells you that somebody from that area. This crime is going to be solved if they're not already solving it. You should be expecting some arrests before the end of the week because even though he was lured into the city and people think they got away, they left too many trails because a 15-year-old got caught with this guy's car. Let's listen to some more of this conversation.
Me, Rah, and Gohan, all of us was in what's that shit called? Downtown, in like the circle, the district, whatever the little one is, across from the Capitol. We was all in that bitch. And nigga, when we was in that bitch, Rah was like, yeah, bro, that's my brother, but he wild. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the niggas gonna remember me. I wasn't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I was nobody. I was just north side, turn the street north. You feel me? But that nigga did tell me that shit. I knew.
And see, the thing in this conversation, he said the guy's not going to remember him. Of course they're going to remember him. He has a podcast. He's a blogger. He's a blogger and a rapper. You know what I mean? But he's talking way too loosely. And you got to read the body language from the guys that's from Detroit as he's talking and listen to him talk. He's doing all the talking. Pay attention. He's doing all the talking.
Because everybody in the streets, if you played the streets a little bit, you heard about that shit when Doghead did what he did, man. We was in prison at level 5. He a peace stone, he moving. Nigga, I know some lords, I fuck with it. Some nigga named Crazy K just went back to the joint. You know what I'm saying? He came home and banged straight out. Caught a carjacking and shit. And that's like his 3rd double back. Nigga, on everything. So, bro, Crazy K, across the hall from me. This is the first time I ever wrote a book. That nigga Crazy K had the idea, plot for it. I wrote that bitch up. And Crazy K said he fuck with Damien. He fuck with Debo. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, listen, you fuck with Dog, I'm gonna be 100. Let's put this shit out there. This is what I know. Any nigga from Lansing, I tell you the exact same thing. We know all this shit happened. We all know it happened. I just don't like.
I'm not really in the acting bit.
Can't use that word. It's negative.
Okay.
And I sense that about you.
Like the paperwork, because nigga, I was in the world, man. I ain't even fuck, nigga. It was clear, everybody knew. You say any Lansing nigga that was out there in the streets, no. You know what I'm saying? Because that nigga had a lot of love, a lot of respect for him did that shit, for real. You know what I'm saying? We was little niggas, you know what I'm saying? I used to kind of look up to the nigga a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And my nigga Skull was there. My nigga Skull was there. I told that nigga that shit, man. Hold on. Let me see this shit. That nigga Skull was there, nigga. Yeah. I was there when that shit happened, nigga. That nigga Skull was in that bitch. Nigga, Dog had said, he tried to bite down on me on the big yard. The nigga ain't want no smoke. Hey, you remember this shit, Skull?
Go ahead, talk your shit.
Say, you remember this shit, remember the nigga Debo from my way?
Yeah. With the
That nigga, yeah, when I put him on the floor, I don't know if he was in the hole with me. I put that nigga on the floor because he told. I see this nigga. They posted stories for that nigga. Like, oh, that nigga, he's standing tall on this case. Like, nigga, you already told. It don't matter, nigga. This shit don't matter now.
Oh, you got money, you son.
Oh, I ain't never ran into you, bro.
I ain't ready to see a nigga. I don't.
Now, if you can see, that he keeps talking about this guy that's told, this guy that's a rat. He keep talking about this snitching, but you see the other guys ain't saying nothing, nothing. Earlier in the conversation, he said that he didn't have the paperwork to prove that the guy was telling. He just saying that the guy is telling. You know what I mean? And he's talking to these guys and they listening to him, but they not commenting because they want him in Detroit. You got to listen to this conversation.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. I was yeah, I remember you guys did. I never ran into you.
Red blood. I be that red.
I already know that, nigga.
Yeah, I be that red boy. Y'all this bitch.
What crack with you?
Be out, blood.
I appreciate it, nigga. I'm happy to see everybody out to this. Everybody.
We all playing for the same.
Man, the same. This nigga Scope, man, his bitch bossed his life up. This nigga taking helicopter rides and shit.
Poncho, what's up?
That nigga was on helicopter ride. Hey, listen, and whoever the camera person was, they was doing their job. That nigga was playing up.
Straight to fucking.
That nigga did that. He came home and got on the helicopter. That's some real nigga shit.
No, you can't come on and did the podcast though. That's the real nigga shit.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm trying to. I gotta keep running that bitch though. I be feeling like I fall behind.
If you listening to the guys he's talking to, you can tell they not feeling him. They not his friends. They don't like nothing about what he's saying. They keep changing the conversation about the guys that's supposed to be snitching, and they keep changing, you know what I mean, him from that topic because he's just talking. When you're looking at this young guy, ain't no street in him because he should be able to read that the conversation that he's having with these guys is a conversation that they don't like. You know what I mean? And then he's not from Detroit. He's talking about guys on the east side, but he ends up in Highland Park. Clearly, he ends up in no man's land. If you're not from HP, you don't really be over there if you're from somewhere else. When you see people in HP, they from HP. That's not a town where everybody just go and hang out. You know what I mean? When you see people hanging out in HP, they even got family over there or they from there. This guy way from Lansing. Probably met these guys in the joint, but he's talking too much.
I got some new shit, y'all. That shit, listen.
Keep going what you doing, nigga gonna start paying attention to that shit.
What's the name, Hey, let's go. You say, well, man, I'm trying to pull up at your shit or some shit. Cause I'm gonna end up picking up Jug, man. I said, I'm gonna end up picking up Jug.
You about to, when you come down there?
Yeah.
You gonna pick up Jug?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I ain't gonna leave that nigga sit around.
Pick him up, man. Shit.
I got to.
You can pick him up. You gonna pick him up.
I'm saying, be real with you, bro. That's my baby. I love Jug, but I don't think he got the money to get it.
You see, he's saying that they're gonna pick up Jug, and he reiterate, "Are you gonna pick up Jug?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Jug." Did he say Jug is broke or whatever? He said, "Get up off of him" or whatever. In this dialogue, he might not have only been the target, but Jug is the target because clearly he's talking too much. He's talking way too much. I'm gonna pick up Jug. The guy said, "Oh, you gonna pick up Jug? Or you bringing Jug with you?" So they know how to play it. They know how to play the scenario, no matter who he come with or whatever. But the crazy part about this is all these phones You know what I mean? Because the first thing, you know what Detroit police is down there doing. They down there checking the IP addresses. They finding out who he's having this conversation with. They're going to find out where that 15-year-old found that car. They're going to trace these phones. They're going to see the last person he's talked to. The last person he talks to in his phone records. And that's who they're going for. And they're going to sweat him. You know what I mean? Because, you know, these young guys out here now, they don't value their life because they ain't lived long enough to know how precious it is. Because when they get caught, and you know Detroit is going to catch them because that's considered a massacre, they doing natural life. And if you think that you're going to feel the same way about your clique, your gang, or your crew when you're in your 40s and you're in your 50s, that's a person who ain't lived that long. There is no loyalty to a gang when you pushing 50 and you pushing 40. There is no loyalty to the streets after you become a grandfather. You know what I mean? Then you transition. They won't get that chance. But they want to jug there too, obviously.
In nowhere. So I would just think of hood.
Fall back on my man.
What type of time you on, man?
Man, listen, ain't no solider nigga than Jud. He just be broke.
Man.
But what are you?
Huh? Broke as fuck, nigga, but I'm good at balancing my budget.
All I know is this, bro. You ain't on this, bro. You ain't on this.
What is it?
Call of Duty, bitch. You know.
I don't be, nigga, I don't be playing. I don't got time to be
I don't
playing
play
games,
I'm
nigga.
talking
I'm outside with it, nigga.
I'm talking about real
I'm
life.
playing real life, nigga.
Now you see, I don't know if you can see good on my computer, but the guy said if you ain't up on this, and he showed him a burner. And he said, what's that? He said, Call of Duty. You know what I mean? All these red lights should be going off to this guy. The way they talking, the underlying hostility, and the fact that he's coming all the way from Lansing into the city. I mean, this is street 101. If you a street person, obviously this guy's not a street person. He just thinks he is, because clearly you can see. Okay, you said the volume is kind of low. Let me try another mic. Virgo child, let me know if it's better. But clearly you can see that he's being lured to the city. And then after a week or two with this out there, you knew he was dead, or you knew he was missing. You knew he was gone. And it's crazy that you seeing this play out. You seeing this guy walk into an ambush. Thank you. Okay, Virgo child. You seeing this guy walk into an ambush. Clearly, they don't like him. Let's just.
I'm not on the game with this real life shit.
You're black.
Nigga, I'm not, this not GTA, nigga. I'm playing real life. I'm out here making bulls and shit, nigga. I ain't got time for that. Talk about
All black house over here, bro. Nothing that.
you still playing shoot 'em up bang bang?
No, in real life though. That shit really became real life.
Oh man.
We gonna touch the shoot 'em up bang bang money too. You gonna put that on your next thing? I mean on your next
Let's go.
your podcast?
So they already know that I'm dropping the T.
Switch to.
If this guy, I'm gonna stop it right there. If this guy couldn't see that the people he was talking to wasn't feeling him, and that the things he was saying, they wasn't feeling those things either, talking about people snitching. It's sad. It's sad and it's tragic. Because who walked 3 guys in that building? How did you get the drop on 3 guys? So that means whoever took him in that building had help. That's for sure. to get the drop on 3 guys and found him in the basement. And then on 6 Mile, where he was found, that's a busy street. That's not no street that, you know what I mean, is desolate like a lot of streets in Detroit. It's a lot of activity in that area. But from you seeing the dialogue and seeing how they was baiting him, and then they found out, you know, he told that they was bringing the guy Jug. They was excited to see him too. And I mean, this is gang activity. But what you finna see is technology. As of right now, Detroit police is tracking all those phone records. They're using face recognition to get past them masks. They're gonna find out exactly who he was talking to on the phone. They're rounding them up. They're going through that building with a fine-tooth comb. And it's cross-jurisdictional because you're going to have Detroit working on this case and you're going to have Highland Park Police working on this case. By it being 3 people, that's considered a massacre. And they're going to get them. It's sad that these young people is doing what they're doing. But at this point, the only evidence that they have right now, as far as the motive, is this conversation. And that's what they're breaking down. That's what everybody is breaking down, this conversation. So we're going to keep following this case into its conclusion because it's a tragedy. I send my condolences and my respect to all the parents and family members of these 3 young brothers. You know what I mean? But keep your head on the swivel. It's dangerous as hell in these major cities. It's dangerous in Memphis. It's dangerous in Boston. It's dangerous in Chicago. It's dangerous in Detroit. It is dangerous where we live at. It is dangerous in the Black community. We don't love each other. We hate each other. You see that? I showed you in one of my other podcasts where Malcolm X was saying, who taught us to hate ourselves? To the point to where we can kill each other with no remorse. You seen it with the cops, with Tyree Nichols. All this is going on, Black people. You got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of it and see what's really going on. And you're starting to see that a lot of these crimes with the youth is tied to social media. It's where the metaverse meets reality with these people. And it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. But the internet is undefeated when it comes to solving and breaking this stuff down. The internet is undefeated. And this is sad commentary. You know, again, rest in peace and my condolences to the family. That was the last conversation that the brother had before he came into Detroit. I just wanted you to see how he was coming. How he was coming, what he was coming to. Look at the direct conversation. Read between the lines. Nobody booked these unknown rappers for a show in Detroit. Just saying. They don't have a hit. So signing out of Detroit, keep your head on the swivel. Peace.